Live from downtown Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School campus, it's time for EP Live. Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool. And look who is here. This is very cool.
Vic, you're looking younger by the day, and I look like a librarian now.
No, you don't.
With like glasses,
no, you
all right?
look very sophisticated.
I'm getting
Rudy
old.
is here.
I'm getting scruffy. What's going on here, Vic?
You have a real job. You have a day
true.
job.
That's true.
You're working with BC Tourism and doing all kinds of video content. Are you having fun over there?
I'm having a great time.
Awesome.
I've actually just finished a project that I was like extremely
It's a
happy
great
about.
job. It's a very
Yeah.
cool job. You get to
Totally.
travel all over the province a little bit and
Some
cut
of the footage I
incredible
work
footage.
with is the
Yeah.
most gorgeous footage I could ever ask for.
It's
So.
pretty darn lovely
Yeah.
here in BC. If you ever get a chance to come and check it out, you should. And to tempt you, you can go to the BC Tourism pages, I'm sure,
yeah.
and watch all
They're all
kinds
over.
of videos
Search-
that you worked on.
Search Destination British Columbia.
There you
You'll
go.
see everything that I do.
There you go. All right, we got a great show for you today. It is the weekend after all, and there is a lot to talk about, including a lot of stuff to look forward to. But first, we have a rundown to jump into, and without any more hesitation, let's get there. This one is dedicated to Dan Shop Brian, who says, what a great video review with a touch of personal life experience. I think he's talking about the Spyro, the Reignited trilogy, which was great to revisit. Let's get started with Dan Shop Brian's rundown. The PlayStation 5 doesn't land for another year, but it's already getting the industry very excited. Are you excited?
I'm stoked.
Yes. Earlier this week, Sony revealed new details about their upcoming console. They've confirmed that it is indeed called the PlayStation 5 and will hit stores during the holiday 2020 shopping season. We're still waiting for a look at the console itself, but as for the controller, Sony says that it will replace the traditional rumble feature with new haptic feedback, so crashing in Gran Turismo will feel different than getting tackled in Madden. Those are great examples, Blake. The controller will also have adaptive triggers, so drawing a bow and arrow in Horizon Zero Dawn will give different resistance than accelerating in Grand Theft Auto. Expect more new details about the PlayStation 5 to trickle out in the coming months. I don't think they're going to trickle out. I think we're going to get like tidal waves of information as they hype up this machine like crazy.
Listen, it's 1 year away now.
I know.
And, the thing that haptic feedback and everything sounds fantastic.
Yep.
But I need to know about this backwards compatibility.
I know.
We need to know. PS4 seems likely. I think that may have been confirmed. But I need to know PS3 and PS2.
I want to be able to pop in the old discs as well. And they should run right from the discs. You shouldn't have to download anything. It should just all work.
None of this, when they released the PS2 on PS4 model and the PSN store, I don't want none of that.
Yeah.
I need full...
Everything works.
Everything works.
Yeah, at this, honestly, because this is likely their last PlayStation.
So you think so?
I think so. In terms of hardware, likely, right? Because we're moving to this streaming future. That's one of the big things that's predicted for the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox is how they will tether and tie into the streaming subscriptions that everybody's going to have. So why not celebrate the hardware history that the PlayStation brand has?
And they have to, because you look at what Microsoft is doing right now with the Xbox One X, and you can play in almost every disc. Obviously, the entire library isn't there, but the important titles mostly are.
Yes,
and the fact that you can play them, I put in Ninja Gaiden Black onto my Xbox One X the other day, and it looked beautiful.
I know.
And I just could not believe it.
It's kind of a religious experience to grab Panzer Dragoon Orta and stick it into the Xbox One X.
Crimson Skies,
or SSX 3. I mean, it's crazy. I know. And I want that same feeling with my old classic library of PlayStation games. There's a lot of us out there that have been collecting this whole time, and we have this massive collection of stuff. Yeah. That's why, this Polymega can come out of nowhere. They're the first kind of disc-based system that you're going to be able to pop in all kinds of discs and they'll play, man.
Polymega was one thing. The Retron 5 was around for a while now, too. Like, this stuff, I feel like if the developers don't make them, there'll be third parties that will find their way to get these licenses and reproduce this stuff. Because it's absolutely important.
Well, and it might be a bit of an expense, but who cares? It's worth it. And I think, you know what? I think if they charged $100 more for that backwards compatibility, I think they would sell a lot of those.
I think they would, I think they would, absolutely.
Embedded right into why not?
But see, that's where it gets into dangerous territory, because that the next Xbox will have it built in.
The Xbox has had to have had it built in. Let's be fair, right?
Yeah, it's true.
They needed backwards compatibility so badly this generation.
I just feel like it just would not be a good look for Sony to come out and be like, "Hey, we have another version."
Well, the rumor is there's going to be a Pro version and a regular
on
PlayStation
launch.
At launch.
Ooh, I don't know if I like
two
that.
Different
I don't know if I like that, Vic.
Well,
I don't know.
I think they're going to skew. I don't know what the Pro version is going to have, but this new controller sounds super exciting, and they make good hardware over there.
They do.
So does Microsoft. So this is going to be a very cool year. The rumor is, of course, that we're getting the Switch Pro as well next year, which will dock and upconvert to 4K, and it's going to get exciting. All right, as for what games we might be playing on next-gen consoles, here's some early details about one of them. Hitman creator IO Interactive has inked a publishing deal with Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment to develop an all-new console and PC experience. They haven't said exactly what this new game will be, so it could be a new Hitman sequel or an entirely new IP, but either way, since it's almost certainly going to be a next-gen game, the deal is especially good news for IO. They were dropped by their former publisher Square Enix in 2017, so a publishing agreement with a big studio like Warner Brothers ensures that they'll stay afloat for years to come. Of course it's more Hitman.
I don't know, Vic.
That's
I don't
what
know.
the battle was for, to get the Hitman rocking and rolling, and Hitman 2's done quite well.
Hitman is doing fantastic.
Yeah.
But let's not take the idea away that this could be...
Kane and Lynch?
No, Vic, none of that. But what if they made a standalone Red Hood game, standalone Deathstroke game?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's a Hitman.
Yes, yeah.
You know, what if they're trying to take that Hitman formula and create something unique with it? Like Warner owns a lot of IPs. So let's not put IO in the Hitman.
Dude, imagine an IO developed Green Arrow game.
Exactly.
Ooh,
exactly.
I like that.
And I don't think that we should. I think the world's been fiending for more Batman games.
Yes.
You know, and this
more
might be the start
games.
of something. Yeah.
Especially over here at good old EP. And
That's
me.
all Vic. That's all Vic
I
wants.
love superhero games. Yes, I want more. I like what you're thinking. Yes, Scrub, Hitman 3, hold off on that. We want superhero games.
I've talked about this a lot. I feel like so many developers are put into a bubble.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happened with Guerrilla. You know, they were put into that Killzone bubble. Oh, all they create is first-person shooters.
So wait, IO is going to be acquired by Warner Brothers?
They could be. I think so within
right?
time. But, you know, you saw what happened to Guerrilla. They had the one chance with Horizon, and now that's a huge franchise for PlayStation now.
Yes.
So maybe IO might do that for Warner.
Yeah. That'd be amazing. All right, the new movie Gemini Man has a young Fresh Prince version of Will Smith, and now audiences might be seeing more from the original Fresh Prince. A spin-off based on the iconic 90s sitcom is in the works. The Hollywood Reporter claims that Will Smith is developing a new Fresh Prince series through his Westbrook Media Company, which also co-produced Gemini Man. It's unclear if the new show will see Will Smith in front of the camera, and if it does, we don't know how old or how young he might be. Digital de-aging technology is making it possible for actors to revisit any role at any time, which is already turning things upside down. Is that from the show?
Yes.
Turning things upside down.
From the theme song, Vic. Come
I don't
on.
know the theme.
This is Blake's fantastic writing, and you are not giving this man his credit.
That was dope.
There you go.
I like that very much, but I didn't watch that show.
Really?
I mean, I caught it a few times.
Fantastic show. I think it was, for me also growing up when I first came to Canada, it was, it was really kind of introduced me to North American culture.
Yeah.
And amazing that it's coming back in some way.
Well,
first of all, rest
Will
in
Smith
peace.
Always talks about it.
Yes.
And rest in peace.
James Avery.
Yes.
He played Uncle Phil in the show. So he's not around. I think it'd be a little strange if they went with the young Will Smith thing with a de-aged version. I just don't know if I'd be able to take that seriously.
We're entering into that world, bro, so quickly, man.
It's crazy. I think it's a little much.
I think that this Gemini Man is floating that idea. I think that there is this proposition from a lot of established stars, and they're probably signing digital likeness rights like crazy right now.
It's going to be so strange if we, 10 years from now when actors have passed away, that we're still seeing them on the screen. They're just going to feel something soulless about it.
You know that Marvel is going to be making lots of young Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man adventures in the future.
Yeah.
And
God.
It's going to be cool.
I don't know, Vic. I don't know if it's going to be cool. I think it's great to pass the torch. I'd want to see Iron Heart down the line or something.
Well,
I don't want to just keep seeing Robert Downey. As much as I love Robert Downey.
Have you seen how many comics they've made?
I know.
I'm sure that's what they're trying to do is drive the price down on all of this technology and access the rights to a lot of these characters, and then they're going to be around in perpetuity. Will Smith, I think, is toying with that idea too.
I want to see with this show. I want to see Will Smith take on the torch from Uncle Phil and play an older character.
Yes.
Maybe dealing with some young. Will that he was to Uncle Phil. And I don't know. I think that would be pretty special if that was the case.
I don't have that emotional bond to it. I caught it a couple of times. I love the fact that Will Smith he loves that era so much. It was so important to him, so instrumental. I was, I was more a fan of what he was doing in the movie world. Like I saw the 7 Degrees of Separation or something like that. His sort of breakout performance there, and I thought this kid is great, man.
Was it 7 Pounds you're thinking of?
No, he did his first movie role.
Oh, a big movie. Okay.
Yeah, he was really, really phenomenal. He's a terrific performer. I've said this every time. Yeah. He's just been like Gemini Man was kind of bunk. He keeps getting sort of put into these movies where he has to have all these big digital effects that kind of screw it for him. Like Aladdin, you're like, well, that's kind of didn't work right there. And then the I Am Legend with all the CG zombies.
Yeah, I feel like he needs better agents or something because I feel like he does not pick out the right scripts. Yeah. I think there's so much stuff that's brought forward to him.
Yes.
Matrix was one of them, right? He denied Matrix, but thankfully we have Keanu. God bless Keanu.
You know what movie I like of his that is kind of underrated? It's kind of a buried treasure movie. Is Hancock. Did you ever see Hancock?
Yeah. The one he was a hero and he was floating around.
I thought that was pretty cool. Jason Bateman and Charlize Theron.
But again, it was another film that kind of had some wacky effects.
Yep.
Especially like you look back at them now, they haven't really aged well.
Yes.
But it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed I Am Legend.
I mean, it was a cool movie, but the CG was so apparent. So these digital actor things, they got a long way to go. But Marvel is doing a pretty good job with that stuff.
How long before Will Smith is in the MCU?
I don't know. I mean, he's been in the DC movies, but he probably doesn't want to have anything to do with that at this point. That movie was so terrible. All right, we've got a fun unboxing to get to right after this, but thank you for watching our rundown today. Let's get started with this day in Everything Cool. Welcome to This Day at Everything Cool for October 11th. On this day in 2004, Nintendo took Western gamers on a paper chase. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door was released on the GameCube in North America following its release in Japan earlier that year. It was the second game in the Paper Mario series following the original that had been released on the N64 in the year 2000, and this time around the battles were much more intricate. Nintendo and Developer Intelligence Systems also doubled down on the paper theme, using it during gameplay to allow players to do new things, like turn Mario sideways in order to squeeze through cracks. The story was also much more in-depth than the previous game, and actually had more in common with the SNES game Super Mario RPG, which was a precursor to the original Paper Mario. Basically, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door was the definitive Paper Mario experience, and it became one of the best-selling titles on the GameCube, establishing the franchise as a valuable property for Nintendo. Several sequels and spin-offs have followed. Okay. All right, you guys, got a brand new little mini arcade machine, a Replicade from New Wave Toys. They sent us Tempest a few months ago, and it's super cool. You can play the game, and you've got the little spinny knob and all that stuff.
Vic, did you do this for me? You know how much I love Street Fighter.
I did bring this in today so that we could play. Hopefully, it's got a little charge on it, but here is the Replicade Street Fighter 2.
This is so cool. I'm glad that there are so many things releasing right now that are celebrating arcade culture.
Well, just retro in general. Like, I keep talking about how this is a surreal year because we are talking about classic games in every episode, it feels like.
So cool.
Every week there's some new news about classic games. So this is it. This is the Replicade right there. I'll put it up to the camera. Is that in focus, Blake?
Like Johnny would be happy with this because this is an American cab. It's got the bat top.
Yeah.
I want to see how the buttons feel.
I like that they sent it all protected in the packaging.
Yeah.
And they also have a very easy to open box that you can kind of protect your cabinet in. I still have the box for the Tempest machine. And
this is for all the people who don't have space for those arcade 1-up machines in their house.
Yeah,
all of us living in condos out there. This is like desk space material.
Totally.
Right here.
I met the founder of the company at E3 this year. and he was wonderful. He's a video game vet. I think his name is Shiloh. He's a video game vet who worked at different companies. You can take a look at that instruction book. You can hold it up to the camera there. It comes with a little sort of USB mini plug, like a phone plug charger thing right there.
I'm interested. I'm interested if this has an 8-way gate or what. So
I think it does.
Yeah.
And it comes with an extra controller as well. Apparently it's supposed to be in there. Actually, I don't see it.
Vic, we got duped.
I don't see it. Maybe
it might be
not
inside. Actually, it's in the back. I see it.
Oh, it comes in the back.
Wow. It actually
Cool.
can all fit.
That's so cool.
in one
Okay.
piece.
All right. So I'll
Move
put
this guy away.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. There it is. There's the
Oh.
Street Fighter 2. I'll take the plastic wrap off.
This
the
looks
top.
fantastic.
Isn't that so cool?
Oh my god.
Is that bringing back some memories right
No,
there?
so it's a square gate inside. For all you guys who use arcade sticks, you guys know what I'm talking about. So there's octo gates, which is every corner.
Yeah.
This is a square gate inside, which is really good.
Yes.
So it makes using charge characters like Guile and E Honda a lot easier.
Uh-huh.
And ooh, these buttons.
Oh wait, it's got a USB thing right on the back here, so you can actually.
Oh my god, can I see this?
Yeah, it comes.
Look at this.
It comes with an extra.
Oh my god.
Little controller on the side. Hold that up to that camera
Right
right
here,
there.
right here, look at this.
Down like
Oh.
this, right there, right there.
Okay.
There you go.
Vic knows
so
all.
cool.
Oh, this guy right here.
Yeah, right there. Isn't that cool?
Look at this.
All right.
Very cool.
All right, so this plugs into here. I don't know if there's any.
Are we gonna do a little
let's
mini
see.
let's play right
Yeah.
now? This is awesome. Look, I love that it has all the coin slots.
Oh yeah, it's
here.
supposed to. There's I probably put it down on the ground already. There's a couple of little tokens in here as well, like little miniature replica tokens. So cool. They have chargers that look like USB chargers for your phones and
Yeah.
stuff that look like token machines
Oh, wow.
that you would find in an arcade.
That's
so
incredible.
their whole idea is to miniaturize everything, and the
Ooh,
scale.
The light just went up. Should we turn it around
Yeah.
for people to see here?
The scale is kind of perfect for any 12-inch action figures, which is pretty rad. So
yeah.
you can
Oh,
s-
that's
you can
right.
put
You can
your,
pretty
like, a
much
hot
have
toy
like
figure right-
Ryu and Ken playing the machine if
Yeah.
you want them to.
Isn't
That's
that-
so cool.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, this just lit up, by the way, guys.
Yep.
And this as soon as he turned it on, this.
There's a lot of lights in the studio. I don't know if the audio is going to be loud or what. Yo. They stand together quite well. It's about the same. So these are all scale, right? So
Can I bring
you
this
could-
up to the microphone here?
Yeah.
People can hear this.
you can make your own little mini arcade if you want. Here, I'll turn Tempest on too.
This
might
is
as well.
so cool. All right, Vic.
So let's see
But
if we
in-
can play this.
The audience may not be able to see, but I want to see you throw your first Hadouken on this thing.
It comes with two. Oh, this. Move the other one out of the way. Okay. Should I turn the volume down on this?
Oh,
Oh, okay. There you go. Sweet. Okay. Can't really play it towards the camera too much.
Here. Would this guy right here work?
Are you gonna play it like that? Okay, there you go.
Insert a coin.
Okay.
I can do a
All right, cool.
Hadouken on this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Beirut camp. We're playing mini cabinets here. All right. Vic, I know you like Sagat.
I do like
So
Sagat.
as you gotten older,
He's cheap.
Vic,
Yep.
He's cheap.
Well,
Listen.
because he throws his arms and legs from across the screen.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Oh, there's a tiger knee, guys. You guys hear that? Oh. Oh, okay. Oh.
This is awesome. So I lost Behr. So Behr's busy playing Mini Street Fighter
Vic,
2.
this is the wrong show to do this on. All right, this is fantastic.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
cool,
let me
right?
just kill Ken. Ken's almost dead.
I'm gonna turn the mic towards me.
He's stunned. He's stunned.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh.
All right, well,
Finished it with a tiger uppercut.
You can keep playing
No,
because
we're good.
I'm gonna run. We're gonna run a little mini.
Oh, okay.
A first thoughts look at. We've got a couple of Sega games in the show today, but here's our first thoughts look at the brand new Super Monkey Ball game. Man, even years later, it's hard not to smile when you see that we've got a new Super Monkey Ball coming our way. In fact, this is not a brand new game. It's based on the old Wii classic. It's called Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, which Sega's bringing out to everything. I can't give you guys the full review just yet, but I can tell you that this is charming and fast-paced. It is one of those games where it dares you not to be charmed by it. We know the story here. You've got to roll the ball down these complicated mazes, which are kind of like those old puzzles where you used to have the little ball bearings and you had to get them into the hole kind of thing. You'd roll the thing in your hand. It's kind of like that, but you're trying to avoid all kinds of interactive pitfalls, like beams that are going to swing you right off of your little rolling area, or ledges that you got to jump to, or tiny little narrow tracks that you got to stay on. It's all about your balance and how fast you take your corners. You know, you got the monkeys kind of dancing to the funky music that's happening all the way through this. So you're just bopping along trying to beat these puzzles as quickly as you can, collecting all the bananas. Fighting the cartoony bosses. The concept worked wonderfully when it was on the Wii. I can still remember when they ported Super Monkey Ball to the original iPhone, to the very first iPhone. It worked great there. It's worked in every other iteration, so why wouldn't it work in 2019 on our current platforms? I'll tell you what, so far it has been working. For the most part, they've modernized everything. It's all 16:9 and all in HD. I've been playing it on the Switch. It looks great on the small screen. It looks fantastic on the big screen. Sega's added a couple of little extra tidbits in there, some hidden characters, and there's a mode called Decathlon mode where you can compete with players in these mini games and then put your scores up on leaderboards. So there's some extra bonus stuff in there. It's a fun game to revisit, even though longtime players like myself have, seen these mazes before and seen these levels before. It's still really fun and addictive, and I think importantly, it's also fun to share this with other people. I envy those that have never experienced the Monkey Ball dance party before. You are in for a treat. My nephew, actually, I was playing with him, and he said, "Why are the monkeys in a ball?" And that's like an existential question right there. Why are the monkeys in a ball? Doesn't matter. It's fun. I'll have a full review soon, but right now, Super Monkey Ball has got me smiling again. Yeah, baby. Okay. I gotta move. I know some Ryu.
Vic's in there.
Yeah. Oh, we're back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're lost in Street Fighter, guys. We got the two-player going. And it's
Vic just schooled me one round.
I did some Hadoukens. Hold on.
Almost a perfect.
Yeah, we're up 1-0. So just give us a second. Okay, Sagat wins. All right, we got a show to get to, anyways. Good job, buddy. Good job. This is so cool.
Very cool.
So yeah, New Wave Toys and Replicade. Love it. Very cool. Okay, so we'll keep this over here. This will entice you until the battery runs out. Okay, we have a lot to get into. This is a very interesting quarter. There's lots of big games heading our way, right, my friend?
Oh, there's so many.
Yes.
But I almost feel like a lot of developers are now shying away from the fall season as well.
Yeah.
I feel like quarter one is now turning into a scary territory as well.
I don't know if that was on purpose or things just started to slide and it was like, oh, okay, I guess we're hitting March. They still got to get it in their financial year.
Yeah.
Right. But
exactly.
which is fine. Games should be good all year round, right? We should have lots to play all year round.
Absolutely.
But we still have some very big games, and we're kind of on the road to the Rocket and Ray Gun Awards right now.
Oh.
But let's talk about some of these big titles. Let's start with Death Stranding. Are you super psyched for You bought something for this, didn't you? Yeah.
I am a big Kojima fanboy.
Me too.
He is the only man who can make me spend $350 Canadian on a plastic baby. So come November 8th, Vic, I will be a father with you, all right? We will both be parents.
Your eventual child.
Yes.
Your real-life child, if you choose to have one. Will inherit this wonderful toy that you are buying right now. Scott Jones used to make fun of me all the time for all the action figures that I collect. And he'd say, your kid's just going to love this Batman that you bought today.
Listen.
One day, Ruby, this will be yours.
Ruby's gonna be done with Batman by the time she's 18, 20.
Absolutely.
But I'm absolutely stoked. The more gameplay I see about this game, the more intrigued I am.
Mm-hmm.
They're using the Decima engine, same engine as Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay. Oh, cool. Yes, that's
And,
right. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of nice for me to see Kojima finally make something outside of Metal Gear. I mean, he's done it before.
Yeah.
He's made Police Knots. He's made Snatcher.
Yep.
He's helped with
Zone of
Castlevania,
Enders.
Zone of the Enders.
Yep.
Fantastic games.
Mm-hmm.
Anything he's touched has been great.
Yeah,
and I know I sound like a
even
complete fanboy right now, but it's true.
Well, he is a consummate perfectionist, and he leads his team, and drives them very hard. And he expects a lot out of the people that he works with, and he puts everything he's got into all of this stuff.
You would know because you did the documentary for
Yeah,
Metal Gear
I've
Solid.
known him, and I've known his team members, and they're incredible artists. So yes, I'm extremely excited about this. Although the gameplay that I've seen looks very empty. It doesn't look like there's a lot going on.
For sure.
know.
But one thing we got to keep in mind, though, Kojima is very well known for trolling people.
Yeah.
During the trailer stage.
100%.
You know, we've seen it with Metal Gear Solid 2. We've seen it before.
MGS2 is the only one where, on repeat plays, it's a little disappointing for me.
Yeah.
But the other ones have been phenomenal.
Oh,
you know,
so good.
Yeah, he is extraordinarily talented for sure, and so is his team.
November 8th, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, also a November game coming up soon. Is it November? It's November.
It's November 15th.
Okay,
exactly. So, but
you haven't played this. I played this at E3.
Yeah, you got to let me know how it was, because when I saw the gameplay at E3, I'm stoked for this game. I love Star Wars.
Yeah. It's not a game to watch.
Okay.
It's a game to play.
Interesting.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of those.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like watching. They're shooting for a Dark Souls / Metroidvania kind of vibe, okay?
Yeah.
Where there's lots of nooks and crannies and lots of things to explore.
Interesting.
But it's not even about that. It's about the force powers and your abilities.
The story probably is a big
the story
part.
for sure, yeah. And it's all being overseen by the Star Wars story group. But honestly, you feel like a badass. It's the guys some of the guys worked on God of War.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
Like
interesting.
The head guy, I forget his name right now, but he's a God of War vet, and there's one of the combat designers from God of War worked on the game for this. And so what I played, I got to sort of do some exploration, but I got a really good sense of how awesome the combat feels. And you remember how kick-ass you felt in Force Unleashed.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of that kind of flair, but with modern horsepower.
Yeah, see, the one thing that really shocked me about this game was the fact that obviously it's Respawn making it.
Yeah.
But they're not using the Frostbite engine for it.
I know.
They're using the Unreal Engine for it.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder what exactly, made that decision happen.
I think there are development teams within EA that are starting to have a little bit of pull based on some of the missteps that other developers that were kind of pushed into a position of having to use Frostbite have taken. So there's some really good examples of maybe this was not the right choice. I had Will Ho from the NHL team, and he was very honest and upfront about the fact that they didn't use Frostbite, didn't work for NHL, and that's cool. They have the ability to say, nope, this isn't the way that we're going to go, and they went this way. And so does Respawn. Respawn is honestly the chips are high on Respawn. Converting on the investment over there.
Yeah,
and they
incredible.
are. They're an incredible team.
They are.
I still want Titanfall 3.
Please.
Yeah.
Please. So I cannot wait.
Me either.
The game looks fantastic.
Yes.
Another game you tried.
Yep.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
10, 15 years from now, Vic, how are we going to refer to all these game titles if they're reusing old titles?
They'll just have the year behind. I mean, I just did Grid, right? I just did Grid again. And
Mortal
Grid
Kombat did that in 2011 when it came out.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time now.
Yes.
But I'm seeing a lot of old school Call of Duty players and Call of Duty vets from the Modern Warfare era from 2007 to 2009 come back to this game. It seems like
want to sort of invent that brand and re-own that brand, right? Because Modern Warfare arguably is as powerful a brand as Call of Duty is.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And they want to. They're definitely being edgy. They're definitely courting controversy with some of the subject matter in this game. Not the multiplayer.
But you look at the previous games too, Vic. They were pretty
controversial.
Some of the scenes in there, the airport, was it called the terminal or whatever in Modern Warfare 2?
Yes, the no Russians.
There was a lot of crazy levels, and I think they're following that.
This was really shocking. Do you know what happens in
No,
the
I
single
do
player?
not know.
Yeah, you're a child caught up in the warfare, and you watch your dad die.
And first person?
It's like the Syrian gas attacks.
Wow.
And so you're a little kid, at waist height, running around as people are choking and dying, and you have to kill people as a little kid in order to stay alive. And it's like,
I did not know about any of this.
Right? So suddenly, and everything is really edging up close to photoreal, and it was uncomfortable. There were a whole bunch of us journalists in the room getting a kind of a taste of the single-player story, and it was like, whoa, man, this was weird. And then we left and played some of the multiplayer, and the multiplayer was like hella fun and crazy, and like we were in a theme park, and it was, photoreal and tactile and tactical. And that's where the long legs of Call of Duty always are. But that single-player campaign, they want it to be a gut punch, and I think it will be. And I think a lot of people are going to be talking about it.
They're really, I think they are fishing for those headlines in a way. But again, a great direction. I think they went a little too far with the future warfare stuff and people having abilities. I played, was it Black Ops 3 or 4?
Yeah.
And I remember...
I like the first space one that they did with Kevin Spacey.
Future Warfare, was it? I think so.
Warfare.
Or Advanced Warfare, yeah. I mean, I felt like I was playing Destiny at a certain point, with people doing ground pounds and just insane abilities.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're kind of taking it back.
Yeah, it's true, because if we don't do that, then all of the shooters start to blend into one game, right? And you can't tell where one ends and one begins. We've got the Outer Worlds coming from Obsidian, who I love. That team is amazing. That was honestly one of my favorite experiences too, was working on the New Vegas making of and getting to know all of those guys who are all vets, who have all been making action role-playing experiences, a lot of them from the top-down era, for ages. They worked at the Black Isle group at, what was the name of the developer? Interplay, way back in the day, and just incredibly gifted storytellers. I think this game is going to be... It was one of my picks, that and Luigi's Mansion, for best game coming out of E3.
I think you can ask many Fallout fans out there, and they will tell you their favorite game was New Vegas, because it was so different, it was so crazy, and I think there's a lot of Fallout fans that are absolutely stoked for this title. And you know what's crazy to me about it too? When I watched the trailer, it looks so much like Fallout with just how the characters move. It's not using, I think it was called the Gamebryo engine is what they use over there with the Fallout team, and Skyrim's used it. They've overused that engine a lot. But now the Outer Worlds is using the Unreal Engine as well. But I just don't know how they made it look so similar.
Well, they learned
Fallout.
a few things.
It's almost unreal to me, of like, no pun intended, of how, just how similar it looks.
That's the game I'm most excited about for the rest of the year. That and Luigi's 3.
I think that could be a real sleeper hit that will come out of nowhere.
I think it's going to be huge.
It looks like a perfect blend between Fallout and Borderlands.
So. We've got Need for Speed Heat, which is coming up very quickly, and this is Ghost Games stepping into the batter's box again. And
once again, Vic, listen, what was the last one called? Payback?
Yeah.
That one should have been called Payday. Because EA was making that money with those loot boxes, with those cards. I'm sure they were.
That came and went, that game. That was like, it's out. It's already, oh my God. And nobody talked about Payback.
I'm a little worried for the Need for Speed franchise. It's very well known. I hope this game is a hit. It looks like they're taking a step back. They've clearly said in the first trailer, you're going to gain reputation points like Need for Speed 2015. I'm just concerned if this game does not really...
It's such a precarious situation. I did a Twitter poll, which was just so blatantly. Of course, it was going to skew. I asked people if microtransactions should be a part of AAA games, and it was 91% no. And I'm like, who is that 9% that said yes? I'm sure it was people that work at EA and 2K and Activision. But people just don't want to hear that noise anymore, man.
They need to be careful, because look at what Forza is doing.
Right.
Forza Horizon being the amazing arcade racer.
Yes.
Even Gran Turismo, I know that's a simulator game. Gran Turismo Sport has been amazing. They've been releasing updates every month. And that game's like a complete package now. And I love racers. I have a whole steering wheel rig in my place.
You do?
I do. I love that whole genre. But with Need for Speed, I feel like they're still not sure if they want to go too too arcadey, a little realistic,
Yeah.
bit of the mods. I feel like they need to go all out take the Burnout route.
Well, they should have Burnout be a pillar for EA. That was an incredible brand, and they should have kept a team on Need for Speed and let them live. I know what happens is that some of the developers, they get a bit of burnout, no pun intended, on these titles, and they want to make changes, and people move, and it's such a vaunted brand, but it almost needs a shepherd. It needs somebody that knows what the road is going to be for Need for Speed, to stay with it and to really think through not just one game, but iterations of games that satisfy on every level. And it's tough, man. I mean, they started a team in a different city with Ghost Games. They all moved to it's southern Sweden. I forget the name of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, Gothenburg, which I've heard is a beautiful city. But they started a whole new division down there to build Need for Speed stuff. That's hard, building a company in a studio. I think they did they've done a great work with the visuals of Need for Speed, but now they really got to deliver something that matters again.
And it's bi-yearly now, it seems like, that they're releasing, right?
Smart.
So it's smart, but I would love to see Burnout be thrown in there. It's a bit of a sad time for racing games. And you think about what happened to the MotorStorm team and the Onrush team.
That's a franchise that should come back.
Oh, of course.
And Sony should work with all those devs. They should also figure out how to bring Mod Nation racers back as well.
Twisted Metal.
Pokemon Sword and Shield is going to be the Brinks trucks driving around streets of the city, every city out there, bringing money straight to Nintendo. That's coming out pretty
November
soon.
15th release date for Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Amazing.
Now, a lot of people are calling this game Pokemon Breath of the Wild.
Right.
Because seeing from the trailers, you now physically see all the... I mean, you saw them physically. You see them in real size, I should say.
Yeah.
And it's just... It's amazing that we now have like a full-on console Pokemon experience.
Yes.
That it looks incredible. And I think that it's time for me to finally come back. The last one I went and played was Pokemon X and Y.
Yep.
And since then, I've watched my girlfriend play each one. She's played what was the Hawaii one that came out? Sun and Moon.
Yeah,
Sun and Moon.
Good.
Then there was Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah, I get into them and then I move on. You know,
Yeah.
Like I was there when they launched Pokemon, interviewing Nintendo people.
one,
What is this Pokemon thing? What is all this stuff? And it's been mind blowing for me to watch these things just erupt. And now my kid is getting into the Pokemon games a little bit.
It's incredible.
She's been wanting to start getting into Pokemon cards. I'm like, well, how about you get to know the games?
Listen,
first?
Vic, if you're allowed to have 3,000 Batman toys, Ruby is allowed to have a few Pokemon cards,
true.
all right?
Yeah, I think she will. But this will probably be her Pokemon. This one will probably be her
incredible.
Pokemon.
Can you imagine this being someone's first Pokemon game?
I know, right?
Oh, my God. That's beautiful.
Shenmue III, are we sure that's coming out this year?
I like how we have to yell at Blake over here. So far, I've seen a November 19th release date.
Okay.
There's been some demo gameplay out.
Yeah.
What's incredible about Shenmue 3
Yeah.
is that it looks like an old Shenmue game in
know.
2019. Like the animations, the movement, the gameplay looks similar.
When they revealed some of that footage, which was 2 years ago, people were up in arms about that. 4 years ago, okay. People were like, "Oh my God, no way! It can't look like that." You know, they wanted to kind of evoke that golden era back then.
Yeah.
But they didn't want it to look that much like a Dreamcast game. But now, in this retro kind of crazy world that we're in right now, people are like, "Yeah, bring on the Dreamcast."
Well, we got to mention though that they did improve the visuals a lot since then. There have been upgrades. The main general gameplay is the same, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
I saw the gameplay and I was like, wow, I think this is what I want to get into.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see how will Shenmue survive in a world where Yakuza exists.
I know.
Because the Yakuza franchise pretty much got so much from Shenmue, right?
I love the Yakuza games.
Oh, they are so good. I just started them and I'm
They're
mad
crazy
at myself.
games, right?
I'm
they're
mad at
so
myself
fun.
that I haven't started earlier.
Well, that's on purpose. Sega has been very smartly re-releasing every one of the games on PlayStation 4, so you can have a box set of all of them, all upgraded, and they look incredible. I know they're a great franchise. Yes, that's a very good point. How is it going to stack up? I played 1 and 2 when they re-released them, and it was like, yeah, they're not really, and I think part of it was Yakuza. I think you're absolutely dead on there with that. Luigi's Mansion 3 is coming up very soon. Super psyched for this. It looks like you're getting to play as a Luigi toy.
Next level games.
Yes.
They're back.
I know. And they're going to be on the show soon, too.
That's fantastic.
We're working on a couple of different things to have them come because it's made right here in Vancouver, which is awesome.
I'm just happy that they have a platform now. I feel like Luigi's Mansion 2 came out, did well.
Yep.
It's called Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Yeah. Love that game.
Yeah, it was great, but I feel like some people brushed it off because it was a portable game.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see Luigi's Mansion now back.
Yes.
On this hybrid console, but it is a full-powered machine.
Let's talk about this portable situation here because that game is excellent, and I think you're right. I don't think enough people played that amazing game. I was thinking the other day, and I'm sure lots of people have been thinking this too, but why don't they do 3DS and DS games on our phones? Why doesn't Nintendo make an eShop and let you buy some of those games and let them survive? Because now they're slowly killing off these systems, so people are going to have to go to retro stores and buy the cartridges and get all the stuff. People should be able to play Dark Moon.
I wonder, though, I feel like Nintendo has not had a great relationship with mobile right now. They've had some rough patches.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of bad
press around
this Mario Kart situation. Super Mario Run did not do nearly as well as they hoped.
Yep.
And I'm also just wondering how they're going to have to report these games. Because remember, the 3DS was a unique console. Two screens.
Dude, if they did a deal with Google and Apple where they cut them in on the thing and they created their own store.
They'll do it for them.
Well, it would be done very well.
Yeah,
and if it was all sort of, and it was like embedded within a new store.
I think we'll reach there. I think we'll get to that point.
People would go crazy for that.
I think we're only a few years away before we start getting many more. I mean,
Yeah.
Square Enix has done that for a while now,
Yeah.
where they've been releasing every Final Fantasy on mobile, and they look great.
Yeah, you want them all contained within something, right? Like this Apple Arcade is kind of a nice way. We're going to talk about Apple Arcade if we have time. Okay, the medieval remake is looking pretty damn sweet.
So just to mention, Luigi's Mansion 3, October 31st, Halloween release date.
Of course, yes.
And medieval remake, just almost a week before, October 25th.
Very Halloween-y type game.
What do you think about it? Did you try the demo?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think it looks great. It looks really cool. I mean, the game didn't blow me away when it first came out. I thought it was pretty good. I was reviewing games then. So, I reviewed the game and thought it was good.
You look younger than me, Vic.
But it was, thanks, bud. Blake's got the young and handsome filters on.
Yeah, he's got the Snapchat filters.
I think this is Digital Eclipse. I always get Extremes and Eclipse mixed up. Digital Eclipse out of the Bay Area that worked on this, and they've done a really good job. These guys are crazy about the details and getting everything just right, but also modernizing. They love classic games. So.
I love the way Sony has been approaching these remakes, by the way. Obviously, I think the success of the Crash trilogy really started all this.
Yep.
And
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus was another one.
Yeah.
You mentioned Spyro earlier.
Yep.
I feel like they're going to keep coming. I'm really happy that Medieval's getting some love because this was a big franchise for Sony when they first started. And I did play the demo. I'm a little worried about the frame rate, but it looks beautiful. I love the new Dan cam, they call it, where you can go into like third-person view.
Yeah.
And it's only $40 here in Canada, $30 in the U.S.
I think it's going to be a sweet thing, and honestly, it's been pretty quiet in PlayStation 4 land. So I'm excited about the medieval remake there. I think we are going to do. The other games are good, but I don't know if we want to talk about them too much. We got the new WWE 2K20, which Jose is going to get a report on, and he's going to send that back for us. Plants vs. Zombies, Battle for Neighborville. I just got my review code, so we'll have a review of that next week.
So WWE is October 22nd,
Yep.
and Plants vs. Zombies October 18th. So October is looking really packed.
Moons
right now.
of Madness, is that out before Halloween?
That's on Halloween as well.
That's a good game.
For Halloween.
I played that at E3. This is Funcom, a different direction for them, very creepy. I've got a review code of that coming, so I'll have some thoughts on that.
But you know what that game needs, though? Moons of Madness needs VR. I feel to get the perfect feel and mood of that game, like they need to do a VR port.
Speaking of VR, next week I'm going to be doing a kind of a catch up on a lot of VR content and talking about Asgard's Wrath, which
No Man's Sky.
I'll check out No Man's Sky for sure in VR. You're back. You're big time on the No Man's.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I was on Oculus stuff all day yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. So I'll have some thoughts on some VR stuff next week. So stay tuned for that.
Mario and Sonic Olympic Games.
Well, for that, I actually have a first look and some first thoughts. Let's take a look right now.
On your marks. Ready.
Speed! Sweet!
Sega sent me a code for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 a little bit early, so I can't really review the whole thing right now, but I can give you some first impressions of playing this game. And man, do I wish that my buddy Tommy Tellerico was here with me to review this and talk about it. I got into some really big discussions with Tommy over the years playing Olympic Games, which are fun for a little while. They're always kind of fun because they're basically a series of mini games where you're doing the hurdles and you're doing the long jumps and the races and the, all kinds of scenarios, swimming and stuff. They've always adhered to that kind of format and formula, but Sega has been able to partner with Nintendo and do something creative with the Mario and Sonic Olympic Games where they get a little bit more cartoony, obviously, and a little more fantastical. And this is the first time that they've brought the game to the Switch. It's a Switch exclusive. So what they wanted to do was something a little bit special. And I have to tell you, I don't think that there's been an Olympic game that has made me smile as much and actually laugh out loud as much as this one.
Sweet! Hedgehog power!
It is a really charming title, and I had the suspicion that something special was up when I saw the game being played on screens all over the place at E3 earlier this year. I thought, man, this is cool. We've got characters on skateboards, we're doing some surfing, got a little rugby competition going on, and of course you've got your long jumps and your runs and your hurdles. But then they've also put in a whole bunch of really cool retro games, which kind of harken back to the days when these Olympic games started to hit the NES. And the whole idea here is that Dr. Eggman and Bowser have gone back in time. There's actually a story mode in this. They've gone back in time to the 1964 Olympics, which were also in Tokyo, and now we've got a series of retro events, and they're hilarious. Like, you'll do the vault, and you got to press a bunch of buttons in sequence, stick the landing, and you'll get scored. And the announcer is just so deadpan and droll and perfect and scratchy, like ripped right off of a cartridge.
Sonic's in the lead. Sonic keeping the lead.
So it's hard not to be charmed by this thing. And in fact, the first time that I started to do some jumps and stunts in skateboarding, I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy fun. And it really is a very special experience to jump into this. And the other thing that they've added here are some dream type events as well. Like, there's actually a shooting event where you're running around inside of an environment, blasting away at different targets and trying to get more than your opponents are getting, which is actually pretty cool. And there's a karate dream event as well, and karate is one of the new ones that's included in here. In total, there are about 20 different 3D events, which is a sizable chunk of content there, and they're all playable with up to 4 players, either the Pro Controller or the Joy-Con or however you want to play it. And then there's also another 10 of the retro events in there as well. So there's lots of these sort of mini-game style sporting events and, characters from the Sonic universe and characters from the Mario universe, and I like it a lot. I'm having a good time with this title. I've also been able to enjoy it with my daughter and my nephew, who have both been sort of amused by the craziness of this. Yeah, it's made me smile, man. This game is cool.
A nice landing.
I'm going to continue to play, and I'll have a full review for you soon. I'm looking forward to diving a little bit deeper and playing a little bit more competitive multiplayer. And man, I wish Tommy was here so that he could trounce me with his double-jointed fingers on the right. I would look over at him, I'm like, how do you make your fingers move that fast? I guess it was all the piano playing that he did.
A round of applause for our athletes.
Sometimes these games are made for like a very specific crowd, but I think that even if you love these characters and you're not so much into the Olympic stuff, this is something that you might want to keep your eye on. It's pretty cool. We have a jam-packed episode today, and one of the other things that we wanted to talk about, of course, is the brand new movie, the Breaking Bad movie called El Camino, which stars Aaron Paul as Jesse Pinkman. He is back, and it basically, little spoiler alert, it lifts up right at the end of what happens at Breaking Bad, like immediately after. And so if you haven't seen the ending or you're watching the Breaking Bad episodes, and I'm kind of spoiling it for my buddy Behr here.
It's been many years.
all hell breaks loose yeah, I guess so, right? Like,
yeah.
It's been a part of pop culture for a long time here. All hell breaks loose in the finale of Breaking Bad. It's an exceptional ending, actually. And Jesse gets away from his captors, and we see him in his El Camino racing down the street, getting away, screaming because he's just watched his it's a very complicated relationship, but he's just watched his friend die in efforts to rescue him from where he was. And he's screaming and he's rushing down the road, and then all of a sudden this huge army of cop cars is coming towards him, and he has to swerve out of the way. Doesn't get captured there, but if anybody has watched Breaking Bad, you know that that is a typical predicament for this man, especially for Jesse Pinkman. It feels like for both Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, it's almost like the pressure is on these guys all the time, and they're going to get caught or they're going to get killed. And so you feel that there is this sense of build-up and a rush of pressure, but Pinkman is completely broken on all of the horrors that he's just had to survive and endure. All of the, they had him chained up, and it's brutal what happens to Jesse Pinkman at the end of Breaking Bad. And so he's carrying all that. He goes to visit his old buddies, and he tries to kind of find his way back to normalcy. One of the key moments in the early moments of the film that really got me is that Pinkman takes a shower, and he gets out of the shower, and they have this quick insert shot of him putting his gun into the back of his pants, but it's dripping wet, because he took the gun into the shower. He's so effed up that he doesn't want to be anywhere without a weapon, right? He's just worried that somebody's going to come busting in and kill him or take him somewhere. And so he's trying to find his way back, and he goes to revisit with some friends, and there's some flashback sequences. And we see him slowly try to, rebuild his life to some degree and figure out what he is going to do. And so the story is really of the movie is really of how does Jesse Pinkman survive this, what he's just gone through, and will he survive it? Because there is a big question mark there. There's a couple of moments in there where we get into some typical Breaking Bad style action, and there's characters that we want to see come back in various sequences, but then there's other characters that I wanted to see, like Walter White's wife Skyler, who we don't see again. And you don't want to see her? Blake doesn't like it. But that storyline in the show, Blake. Even though it was uncomfortable because they were bickering and fighting, and it was a hard life to be inside of. It was always fascinating television. You're still in the middle of the seasons there.
Yeah, I'm not
and
caught
so
up at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just gets uncovered in the show, and it's horrifying, especially for this family. They get sort of swept up in all of it.
It was a very special show for sure. There's nothing really much like it at the time, and I think it really made a lot of waves.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things, right? Like it's a show, and now this movie that really celebrate how out of control a normal life can get. An outwardly appearing normal life can also be really blown up and crazy behind the scenes, and stuff that we wouldn't see, or expect out of the people that we see walking through our lives. But in the background, one of them might be a meth kingpin selling more meth than any. And it is kind of surreal to see news reports in this movie, talking about Walter White and Jesse Pinkman as these animals, that have just done so much devastation with their drug empire. Thought it was really cool. Jesse Plemons has a recurring, or he comes back and has a very cool performance in this movie. I do want to call it a show. It feels like an episode. It doesn't feel quite as cinematic as you would expect out of a movie.
Do you think that was done on purpose to make it more like the show?
I mean, it's like a show and a half. It does feel a little bit more cinematic. Vince Gilligan wrote and directed it. He's the creator of the series. And Blake just told me that he shot everything in super widescreen to make it look like a Western. And there's some great scenery shots of New Mexico. It's great to have some of the familiar characters that do live in this world, this universe that he created, pop up in this movie. But I guess I wanted a little bit more. I feel like it was kind of a safe bet, this movie, and I would have liked to have been shocked a little bit more than I was. Still, if you're a Breaking Bad fan, I know you're watching it this weekend. I definitely think that you should. I think you got to finish the show. It's an incredible show, one of the best ever made, I would say. I'm going to give El Camino as a standalone piece of cinema from Netflix and from Vince Gilligan an 8 out of 10. All right, we have a little bit of time left, so we're going to do a little bit something a little bit different here. We're going to play some Apple Arcade games, and quickly I'll just show you. We've got Apple Arcade. This is what it looks like when you go into. One of the things that they did this year is they updated the OS on Apple computers, the Mac OS. I think it's called Catalina now, where you can actually run Apple Arcade games. And Apple Arcade was sort of billed as something that they launched with the new iPhones, where you could get a subscription service to download mobile-type games. But Apple Arcade also works on the Mac now. So this is what it looks like on the Apple Store.
You know, Vic, I'm shocked that they didn't do this earlier.
Yeah.
Like, this seems, I mean, it's great. I think we're finally getting, almost AAA mobile games, if that's a thing to call it.
Yeah.
We got, Exit the Gungeon on there, and just really great developers making good first-party mobile games.
Yeah.
Things that are optimized
Well, they're
for the
indie
mobile
games.
market. Yeah,
we
they're
call
indie
them
games.
mobile games,
Yeah.
but they're indie games. And indie really gravitated towards mobile, and then
Yeah.
it got a little corrupted by the free-to-play kind of extravagance that we saw out there. And that is really struggling right now, by the way. Underscore a lot of these people that have been doing free-to-play for a long time. And this is the direct result of this. Like Apple saw that these developers are not going to be able to sustain themselves with that because they were all in this arms race to spend money to get, acquisition, to get people to. They were spending so much money per person to get them to play their free game.
And there's so many out there.
Yes.
Like, the competition is absolutely so fierce.
Yeah, so we don't know if this is going to work yet.
Yeah.
I suspect it will, though. Google's in this as well. They're pumping it up like crazy, and there's some solid games. So it looks like this on the shop, and I've got a few in my. My folder here, my Apple Arcade games. Let's start with Enter the Gungeon, or Exit the Gungeon, because I know you're a big Enter the Gungeon
I have
fan.
not tried this yet, so this will be the first time. I loved Enter the Gungeon, one of my favorite games of 2016.
Oh, great game.
And it's incredible that they got Dodge Roll to
Dodge Roll and
make this.
Devolver.
Yeah.
There's some big developers. So go ahead and just start up. You should be able to just jump right in.
Oh.
There's a whole sort of preamble with the story, and then welcome back, and let's just press the square button, and then you're in. You're talking to the guy. The square is the action.
Oh, okay.
So I think I died. Boom, and then just jump into the middle arena right there, and you're gonna be into a level. There you go. Press the square button. There you go, loading up, and now same kind of thing, dual stick shooter, but now you're on a platform, and so you're blasting at all kinds of stuff, and you're collecting different weapons.
This actually looks like so much. This is so fun.
It's cool, and you know what's crazy is this Mac is from 2013. I've had this Mac in my life for a long time. I do most of my work these days on my phone because I'm usually sitting in front of my television playing a game or on the way to a shoot or whatever.
And it looks fantastic. This looks like I'm playing it on a console right now.
This
like
is 1920, 1080, 60 frames per second.
That's incredible.
On a 6-year-old MacBook Pro.
Yeah. I actually was not aware of this. I thought it was a fully mobile service. So.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And the other thing that they did with iOS, of course, is that you can connect your PlayStation 4 or Xbox controller to your iPhone or your iPad or Apple TV. So across all of these different devices, you can access these games, and it saves your progress based on your the Game Center ID that you have.
Oh, no. This is
So there you go.
incredible.
So chaos, collecting different weapons. Dodge Roll makes some cool games. I love Enter the Gungeon as well.
This is so cool.
Right? And so
Incredible.
you pay your $6 a month, and this is one of the games. Can we show off another game?
Yeah, let's do the show
Okay.
now. That is awesome.
Okay,
Oh my god.
so this one's trippy. I'm not far in it at all. I don't even know how to pronounce it really. It's a Capcom.
Give it a try.
You can play. It's Shinsekai Into the Depths, and it's from what I can tell so far, and I haven't read anything about this or anything like that. I don't remember receiving. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't remember receiving a press release or anything about this. I just know that Capcom made it or published it. And it's kind of like an underwater Metroidvania.
Interesting.
It feels like.
I did not know Capcom had a title that was part of Apple Arcade. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, this is what I mean. This is why this is such an exciting service. It's like they're getting these
and it would be
developers.
buried.
It would be
if they just put it out, and charged $10 for this or something. Like, nobody would buy this.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
you can find this game on Apple Arcade, right? So just continue. Go down to continue. I don't know what the hell we're doing yet. Okay, so
that's fine.
But I want you guys to see the look of the game and to feel the ambience of it. It's a 2D exploration adventure game, and you're underwater.
Now, have you found yourself playing it? Oh my God.
I have been playing more phone stuff, and every once in a while I'll show you Sayonara Wild Hearts, which I've been playing a ton on here.
This is
but
awesome.
does this look great?
Yeah, I love the mechanics. Actually, is like.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah, I want to get deeper into this game for sure. No pun intended.
We're filled with puns today, Vic.
Am I playing No Man's Sky on PC or PlayStation? I'll probably check it out. I've been playing it on PlayStation. Is it crossplay?
No, it's not
No,
crossplay.
okay.
Not yet, at least. You know, Hello Games releases a patch every damn week.
Yeah.
So knowing them, they might integrate that soon.
But I played it on the TV for so long, and I haven't gone back to it. I might start again. I've got the Oculus Rift, so I might check it out on the Oculus. I'll see how much better it looks on the Rift compared to the PlayStation VR, and then I'll sit down and play it with either one of those.
I love the how floaty you
cool,
feel
right?
under the water. It's
Yeah.
actually really satisfying to play.
You want to play this, I know.
Yeah, very
okay,
cool.
but you can't. We're bouncing to another game.
Thanks, Vic.
All
God.
right.
2 games I really want to play, just shutting me down.
This one is pretty trippy. This one hasn't run. This is an old MacBook Pro, so it hasn't run the best. So I had to dumb down the graphics a little bit, but it's kind of like a Spy Hunter type experience.
Oh.
So press enter. Boom. It's called Agent Intercept. And it's weird. There's no title stuff once you get into the game. You just have it on the icon. So you just drive the car. It's auto drives. It's very mobile like that way. But you pick up boosts along the way, and you pick up weapons along the way, and you can burnout style bash your enemies onto the sides of the road.
Interesting. Oh, there's the boost.
Yeah. So you can smash into the Jeeps. Don't worry about you've got like this indestructible car, and then you can pick up weaponry and you can blast them with rocket launchers and stuff like that. But it's super
pretty much
slick, man. I've been having a lot of fun playing this game.
I'm Vin Diesel from the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Very much, yes.
I mean,
that's what the young kids are saying these days. I say James Bond. He says Fast and
hey,
the
listen,
Furious.
if you've seen what Vin Diesel's been doing in every Fast and the Furious, he's been stomping the ground and destroying concrete.
I know.
He's pretty much a superhero.
They want to reinvent everything. I know, it's insanity.
This
Okay,
is very
very
cool.
Spy Hunter.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go into one more.
And how do these games feel on mobile? Like when you played
great.
Exit the Gungeon, how were the controls on something that doesn't have buttons?
I actually hook it up with the controller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But can you play it without a controller if you don't have one?
Yeah.
Okay.
For that kind of game, I wouldn't want to. But then there's other games which I didn't download here where it makes more sense to use the touchscreen.
Yeah.
Like a game called Tint, where you're mixing paint colors to solve puzzles.
Interesting.
Or I'm playing Grindstone, which is pretty damn rad as well right now. Hey, we got an awesome super chat from Johnny Dark. Thank you so much. Awesome show. What are your thoughts on Stadia? I'm worried about the latency, even with the great internet connection. I've talked a little bit about Stadia. I think that have you played this yet?
I have not. Sayonara Wild Hearts,
Yeah,
it's
this
called?
is like Rez.
It looks like Rez. I was about to just mention that.
Meets Space Channel 5. It meets Panzer Dragoon. It's a beautiful game. It's a music-based game.
Vic, I need more drugs to play this.
Oh, it's very trippy.
Yeah.
Stadia, I think, is going to launch bumpy, but Google's in it for the long haul, and they've hired incredible developers with tons of experience to kind of shepherd in this new wave. I don't think anybody out there can really dispute this idea that we are entering in not just a Netflix for games future, but a Ready Player One kind of future, where you can virtually pick up any piece of software. And honest to God, guys, I've been feeling like that this year because I've been inundated with 16-bit stuff. I'm reviewing tons of it on the channel. Nintendo just pops up the Super Nintendo. It just shows up on your Switch all of a sudden. It feels like even now, even before all of the technology exists, that almost our whole history of games is at our fingertips. There's these anthology collections that keep coming out that are really cool. There are remasters and reboots of all of this great stuff. Stadia is that next level, and I don't think that the story of Stadia is just that they're going to launch a virtual console where you can play stuff. I think what they're really going to make a move on is, quickly accessing an enormous library of software for your monthly fee. I think that they're playing for that. Apple has already started that in some degree.
Vic, this game needs a seizure warning, seriously.
Oh, I think it has all that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super fast and super hypnotic.
It's very cool, though.
And it's
very
all
cool.
tied to this music. Which,
Look at this. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you haven't even heard of this game?
No, I think my girlfriend mentioned this game to me. She was showing me gameplay of it, because I think it's on the Switch as well, is it not?
It's on everything.
Yeah.
And it's such an incredible game.
So she was wanting to buy it, and now I've got to try it.
Yeah.
So.
And this is included in your monthly cost.
So cool.
Right? This is a game worth $20.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is
by
so
itself,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. I played this with my daughter and my nephew. My nephew's 5.
Yeah.
My nephew shows up at my place because my sister works and has to drop him off, and my kid and my nephew go to the same school, and so my nephew gets to spend an hour in the morning with me where I keep showing him a new game every day. And every day I'm like, he's 5 and he's having his mind blown, but he keeps wanting to play this game.
This is insane.
Yeah,
like,
this is what
like,
he keeps talking about.
My brain is in another world right now playing this.
Oh, when you crank this up or you have headphones on?
Yeah.
It's
again, another game. If they
really
do this
wonderful.
in VR, Vic,
Yeah.
I know I'm the guy who's not shutting up about VR today, but this in VR would be...
Oh, I'm sure all that stuff's coming. I actually I commended Oculus because I feel like they're not stepping off the gas. Like their last Oculus event was really exciting.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of really cool things. And I'm really impressed by their commitment. Asgard's Wrath is such a crazy game. I almost shot something on it today, but I've only played. It's a 40-hour adventure role-playing experience.
Jeez.
It's kind
Do
of
you
like
get nauseous anymore in VR?
No, I don't do the shooters with everything cranked, so and that's what did it for me. And I did like when I played Doom VR and Borderlands 2 in VR, and I played them like they were first-person shooters, and I felt like, oh my god. But I don't do that anymore. But Asgard's Wrath, I'll have more to talk about that and more VR stuff next week.
God, those were 3 really good games, actually. I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
All I was interested in today was Exit the Gungeon, to be honest with you, but both those games are really, really cool.
Oh, this
game, though, here.
This album, or this music is great. And when you tie it and pair it to playing the visuals, I've been super impressed.
Is this on PS4, Sayonara Wild Hearts?
I think so.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, you guys, we got to wrap it up. We got to let you go have your weekend. We got to have our weekend. I know that there's tons of questions and comments that we didn't get to, but wasn't it a treat to have Baruti with us today?
Anytime you guys want me to just tell Vic, he'll summon me.
Yeah, follow Baruti on Twitter and tell him that he's got to come back soon, okay? I definitely want to have you back soon.
Of course.
It's such a treat for me to be able to kind of riff with somebody else. I love it.
Yeah, because, Johnny, he's just... We don't like that guy.
I love working with Johnny, but Johnny's. I mean, this is a busy time of year. Like we're all cranking, and I haven't had a lot of time to work on getting tons of guests in because I'm busy trying to review all of these things.
No,
like,
you guys have been killing it here.
There's
been so much good content. EP Nation, you guys are at 45,000 subscribers
now
there. Too.
We're growing.
Almost hitting 50. Can you throw a party at 50 or what?
I think so, right?
Yeah, we got to throw a party of something.
I think we got to do
Drinks
that.
on
Absolutely.
Vic. Drinks on Vic.
Definitely, we're going to do a live shoot of the Rocket and Reagan Awards, and I'm bugging Tommy like crazy to come up here with the Intellivision and fill this place up with Intellivision so people can play.
That'd be so cool.
But we got lots more EP coming your way. Of course, it is Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so we're off on Monday, but we'll be back on Wednesday with some fun stuff. And so make sure you come back for that. But have yourselves a fantastic Thanksgiving if you're in Canada, an awesome weekend if you're anywhere else in the world. And one thing I want you guys to remember to do, play forever.